Who we having for? Imagine that. They gotta lie. They gotta lie. They gotta lie all the time. They can't even believe they own lie. You can't even believe your own lie.
I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things down, flashy.
Much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it.
At the press conference, Teofimo Lopez issued a brutal warning to Shakur Stevenson, making it clear he plans to punish him in the ring. Lopez said that even if he is viewed as the underdog, he will prove his true ability. He warned critics not to underestimate him, promising a dominant performance that will remove all doubt about his skill, power, confidence, heart, and relentless determination on fight night.
They know that. They can't that protection program. Money talk, walk, money talk.
That promotional appearance shows Lopez's intense determination ahead of his fight with Shakur Stevenson. Confident and fully focused, he declares he will dominate in the ring. Lopez is ready to prove his skill, power, and strategy, making it clear he is completely committed to winning and leaving no doubt about his true abilities.
Yeah. Beat him up. Beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a coquita.
Teofimo Lopez makes it clear that he will not allow Shakur Stevenson to take the belt he worked tirelessly to earn. He highlights the sacrifices behind his success, explaining that the title represents years of struggle, pain, discipline, and dedication. For Lopez, this fight is about protecting everything he built through hard work and perseverance. He strongly believes in himself and is fully determined to defend his position in the ring. Lopez sees this moment as deeply personal, driven by pride, effort, and hunger, insisting no one can take what he earned through blood, sacrifice, focus, resilience, and unwavering commitment.
Of being in the ring,
yes.
Shakur Stevenson, obviously.
For sure.
You guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Face-off happened. Things of that nature. Just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny. And
Aoya breaks down the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, predicting the fight is likely to go the full 12 rounds. He explains that the opening 6 rounds will be critical in shaping the outcome. Aoya believes Shakur may start cautiously, fighting off the back foot, using movement and defense to study Lopez's timing, rhythm, and intentions rather than pressing early. If Teofimo can control or clearly win the early rounds, it could force Shakur to adjust his strategy later, increasing the competitiveness of the second half. Lopez is described as a frontrunner who thrives on early momentum, energy, and explosiveness, raising questions about whether he can maintain that pace across all 12 rounds. If Shakur feels he has dropped early rounds, he will be pushed to open up offensively down the stretch, leading to intense championship rounds and a close finish. However, if Lopez loses the early exchanges, Shakur could settle into control and cruise toward a comfortable unanimous decision. Overall, the analysis highlights a tactical chess match where timing, stamina, and adjustments decide everything.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Tio in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Tio can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Tio, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Tio comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight. Now to make it real interesting. If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Tio looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tio is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him.
Shakur Stevenson explains that his motivation is driven by a deep competitive spirit and a constant desire to face the toughest challenges in boxing. After watching Teofimo Lopez's past performances, Stevenson was impressed by his confidence and flashy style, comparing it to a young Roy Jones Jr., which fueled his urge to test himself against that level of talent. He views this upcoming fight as a key opportunity to measure his abilities against an elite opponent while adjusting to new tactics and strategies. Reflecting on his earlier bout against William Zepeda, Stevenson admits it was unusual and demanding, but ultimately crucial for his development. That fight proved he could perform under pressure and adversity. He learned that fighters who apply non-stop pressure are designed to test him, yet he successfully managed that challenge, strengthening his confidence. Now preparing to face Lopez, Stevenson feels ready for the speed, power, and unpredictability of a top-level opponent. His focus, adaptability, and accumulated experience give him confidence to approach the fight intelligently and prove his readiness at the highest level.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like, he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in the ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's going to have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me in different ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down.
Chris Algieri weighs in on the importance of the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, calling it a major moment for boxing. He supports fights where elite competitors face one another without fear of losses, noting that great fighters can remain at the top even after setbacks. Algieri believes this bout represents that mindset, showcasing a high-level contest rather than a reckless brawl filled with non-stop punches. He emphasizes that the technical skill, timing, and strategy on display will keep fans fully engaged, valuing precision over pure volume. Algieri adds that a win for Shakur would firmly place him among the top 5 to 7 pound-for-pound fighters in the sport, although many already feel he belongs there. He describes the fight as a throwback-style matchup, similar to classic clashes between the best fighters of an era. According to Algieri, the drama, intelligence, and historical significance surrounding this contest highlight why elite-level boxing remains compelling, meaningful, and thrilling for fans worldwide.
Health of boxing on this side of the world. Listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I've said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made, and putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo Lopez kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit? When you look at the strategy, yes, no?
I'm going to say, well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo Lopez. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever
Mercurial,
been around.
we could say.
Yes. But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks, and it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So there's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to kind of poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulie, that's a huge. You're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him, man.
But I'll tell you what. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those.
Bruce Carrington breaks down Teofimo Lopez's upcoming fight with Shakur Stevenson by pointing out a potential weakness in Lopez's style, particularly his difficulty dealing with constant movement and changing angles. While Lopez possesses elite athleticism and dangerous power, Carrington believes he can struggle to adjust against opponents who maintain disciplined spacing and refuse to stand in front of him. Stevenson's calm composure, sharp footwork, and high ring IQ could exploit this flaw, forcing Lopez to overreach, rush his attacks, or miss key openings. Carrington explains that by controlling distance, tempo, and positioning, Stevenson can dictate the pace and force Lopez to fight on his terms rather than imposing his own aggressive style. Although Lopez thrives in explosive moments and fast exchanges, his reliance on raw power may work against him when facing a patient, mobile opponent. Stevenson's defensive awareness, ability to reset after combinations, and consistency over rounds could frustrate Lopez and drain his energy. Ultimately, Carrington suggests Lopez must show improved patience, smarter movement, and better adaptability to overcome Stevenson's technical mastery.
Like, Teo is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. He has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? We've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Teo moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Teo get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying? We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog, and those guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur, that play any factor to you?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. Like I don't see just because it's southpaw, that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah, but in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. You know, only time he's open. So yeah, other than that, bro, it's gonna be a pretty tough night for Teofimo Lopez, but I feel like
Gary Anshu and Russell provides an in-depth look at Teofimo Lopez, focusing on a specific version of the fighter rather than generalizing his skills. He references Lopez's bout with Vasily Lomachenko as a blueprint, showing how Lopez excels when blending aggression with control. Russell stresses that Lopez's effectiveness relies on staying composed while applying constant pressure, forcing opponents into difficult positions while limiting counter opportunities. This combination of intensity and discipline makes him a formidable challenge in the ring. When Lopez fully commits to his strategy, pushing the pace, leveraging his athleticism, and exploiting timing, he can dominate rounds and keep even top-tier opponents constantly on the defensive.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, look, like you said, the first thing you said was bluffing McMuffin, right? So you don't think that he's going to do that. Let's just say that's the case. Let's say he wins this fight, but he doesn't win this fight. Whatever happens.
Right, because you made a statement after he said, "Oh, let's see, I'm gonna go back down to 35." So which one is it, man? He kind of 6'7" with it.
There you go.
Come on, which one is it?
So let's talk about 140 then, because obviously there's other champions there. One who you've been going back and forth with recently online, one that you have history with, and you got other guys, Super L there, somebody else you had history, Richardson Hitchens. What's the route for you going forward after your next fight?
After my next fight, unify. I've always let it be known. I want to be undisputed in my division. I want to unify. Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary, just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now. This fight, your fight coming up, you know, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight some.
Russell highlights that Lopez's explosiveness and power are most effective when combined with strategic patience, letting him land significant shots while minimizing risk. By analyzing the Lomachenko fight, he shows that Lopez's success isn't just about natural talent or athleticism, but also about smart execution, adaptability, and mental focus. This approach demonstrates how composure and strategy elevate Lopez into a truly high-level, formidable threat inside the ring.
You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him. Oh, he's a warm fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. You know, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot of this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. You know? But if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko.
That's all for today's video. See you next